there are three stories that you want to be proactive in communicating in your organization and to the public. Like there's three. The first is the customer story, where we're talking about the person that we're seeking to interact and engage with. We're selling them something and they're buying it. So in the compliance space, we're selling something to somebody.
That's right.
Right? Not in terms of the product, but many times we're selling to our equals and our peers across the organization. We have to understand and appreciate their world and tell them a story that positions them as a hero. So many times we come in with our own siloed version of what a story should be, when the story really isn't about you. It's about how somebody else can be hero in their own story. And it's about the customer. So conceptualize, what does this person, the CFO, what does she need? And what is she really, really after? And how do I tell a story that positions my ideas or the data I have in such a way that makes it irresistible for her? It's not about you. It's about that customer. That's the first story. We always need to be proactive in that. The second story is your founder story, which comes back to why you do what you do and why people should trust you, right? The getting in the front and being authentic and transparent about your own shortcomings is about the founder owning his or her position and being vulnerable enough to say, this is who I am, this is what I've done, but this is why also I care. And so many of us want to tell our leadership story, our founder story, and it's a resume. I've done this. Nobody cares.
No.
Nobody cares. What they care about is, what experience have you gone through that makes me want to trust you to be a good guide in my story, right? That's the story. And I'll give you an example with a company we work with, a lawyer. It's always a good example. You remember that 5-second story I put on LinkedIn about the lawyer, and he was evicted when he was 6, and he lost his house, and his mom was struggling, and he vowed to never allow anybody to come after anybody's reputation, their money or their livelihood. Well, that's his founder story. And now he shares that with everybody in his organization and including his clients. It's not about his Harvard degree. It's not about his accomplishment. It's not about the bottom line. It's about, look, I care about nobody having to go through somebody coming after their reputation, their livelihood, and their money. We will fight. And it riles the team up. Totally. It riles people up, not because of how good of a lawyer he is, but because of why he cares so much about each and every person inside of the organization and the customers.
Yeah. And people don't care what you do or what you've done. They care why you've done those things. And you don't watch Star Wars for Luke Skywalker. You don't watch it on his behalf. You watch it for yourself. And you put yourself in the picture and you trust him and you're going through those things with him. It's not a resume of what he's done. It's a journey, and bringing people along that journey and providing those guideposts of those whys or those experiences that led to that foundation. That's a lot more impressive than just saying, I'm a Harvard trained lawyer. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about your resume. Nobody cares what you've done. They care about why you're doing it. And the applicability or the potential resonance of that is well beyond the accolades that are easy to write on a page. You know what I'm saying? I
mean, just going back to Luke Skywalker, if they just cut to the point where he's battling, what is it, the battle star, whatever it is, and you have no backstory. You'll be like, he hit it. He's pretty good. Wow, whoop-de-doo.
Yeah, exactly.
But you had to see him on the farm. Exactly. You had to see him battle with the idea of embracing his destiny. You had to see the path and journey where he was less than sure, less than confident, his pain, his struggle, which then edified you to know that your pain and struggle is real as well, and it can be overcame. And he tells you his story. A story has a multitude of pieces. And if you pull out any of those pieces, the story will be watered down. But that last story is a mission story. So you have your customer story, your founder story, and that last story is a mission story. The mission story is what you stand for, what the organization is seeking to create in the world, the flag you're planting, why you exist. Because in today's day and age, that's becoming even more of an important story. Purpose-driven marketing is on the tip and tongues of most marketers now and branders, because The younger the audience, the more in tune they are to what you stand for beyond the utility of your product or service, like no other time in history. So you need to understand your mission story. So those three stories are kind of, if you think about it 360 degrees, it's past, present, and future. The past is your founder story. The present is your customer story. And the future is your mission story. So no matter what seats you're filling, you should have all three of those stories being able to communicate to your audience.
And talk about the length of these stories. Because, I mean, you're speaking my language here. I'd like to get tactical on these stories, on how maybe we can kind of brainstorm what a customer story or a founder or mission story is for somebody in an ethics department or something. And then how long should those stories be? And then how can we start incorporating them? Or when do you use that on seasoning? What dishes do you season with these stories?
Yeah. Those are interesting questions. And this isn't a cop-out, but there just isn't a hard and fast, always true answer.
Sure.
Sometimes you only have a minute to share it and you got to kill it. Sometimes you have 45 minutes to fill in your presentation and you need to kill it. You just have to understand how much time you have, and you need to tell a story and make it as short as possible. But there is no like it has to be this way.
Right.
Like we have our 5-second story, our 30-second story, and our minute story if we want to really get through something and introducing yourself. But the gist of it is, especially, let me be more specific in the compliance space. We usually have a lot of data backing up what we're talking about or what we bring to the table. Data is 20% of the equation. You need to create data stories.
Yeah.
The data points to this and why is this important? And a story has 4 parts. I simplify it down to 4 parts. There are some problems that cause pain. You got to be able to speak to that. Pain, not for you, but for the organization or your customer, whoever's in front of you. And that pain, they're locked into it because they don't understand the paradigm, the second P, that's keeping them stuck. Mm-hmm. So give me a data point that a typical compliance or risk person might be bringing to the table to, move something in an organization. Just give me. We've
detected rampant fraud in the Western Division.
All right, rampant fraud. Somebody will say, who cares? We were profitable next quarter, move on, fix it, move on. So you might say, hey, here's the data pointing to that. But here's the problem. If we don't address this, it has the ability to scale to the east, the west, and the north, which will then decrease our long-term profitability and will impact everybody's bottom line. That's the problem turned into pain. I got your attention. Now you need to attack the paradigm, which is the old way of thinking that is keeping people stuck and not wanting to take action. The reason that we haven't been fixing this is because we've been able to hide it and But that's a mistake. If we fix it, here's what we can expect to do or get from it, right? Mm-hmm. The paradigm shift. And the third part are the power steps. So there's problem, pain, paradigm, then power. What do we need to do? Be explicit. We need to hire a new manager, put in this system, and do this. Awesome. And this is what it will give us, pleasure, the last P. Mm-hmm. It's going to impact this, and this, which is important because of this. And that has some extrinsic value to the person you're talking to, but you need to understand the intrinsic value that's important to your audience. So let's say you're speaking to the CTO and their claim to fame is a turnaround they did at another company. Mm-hmm. And that makes them feel like a worthy leader. All right, I understand that about you because I got into your shoes. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to tell a story to you. The customer story, one key point is the key word in customer story is custom. Mm. We want to be able to say one story all the time. It doesn't work that way. Whoever's in front of you, you need to customize the story to fit them. Yeah. Because who is the hero in their story? Them. Right? So I know that he was a turnaround specialist and he takes pride in turning things around. Well, we're going to nail these things. And what that's going to mean is you would have been able to turn around a whole nother division in record time. Right. So what do you want to do?
Right. Done.
What do you want to do?
Yeah, oh,
let's do it. Record time, turn around.
Yeah. You're speaking my language. That sounds like my department. Exactly.